Hey everyone, hope everything is going well. We have a returning guest, Steve Splenda. What's going on? It's been a long time, man.
Not much, man. It's good to see you. It's been a real long time. It's been like a year and a half since we went live.
I know it's been,
It's
and I
it's
didn't expect. Yeah, go ahead.
it's nice to see you. It's nice to be here and do this, but it's also been nice to kind of have like a break where, you know, you can kind of just observe the hobby from afar and it's like we didn't really talk about it and do our usual, talking about the crazies and the crazy stuff that's going on. It's been kind of nice to not deal with the drama, back away, and just kind of
Right, sit
find my
back.
lane. It's been peaceful, but it's like
Right.
while the hobby's been burning, I've kind of like kept my guard up and done my thing and had fun. But it's like I do know there's some crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of news.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, you mentioned to me that you were in Sandusky at the Sandusky show, and whenever I think of Sandusky, I've told you I think of what went down at Penn State. So
Think of the old Nittany Lions. I
yeah,
It's a different state, same name.
and this is what I think of.
Yeah, for sure. That's a crazy card to have, bro.
Yeah, it's War of the Worlds, and then this is what Ghislaine. You know
Yeah.
that? I'd be
Hey,
like, not. You know, the crazy part about this is she came to the United States on an H-1B visa.
did she?
Yeah,
I know when they were looking for her, they found her in America.
yeah.
I think it
So
was somewhere.
there,
I think it was actually somewhere in New York or Pennsylvania, wasn't it? In that area.
I have no idea.
I could be wrong. I need fact check. But anyway, you
Yeah,
brought up Sandusky. We ended up with what's her name? Gislelle?
Ghislaine. I,
Gislaine. That's it.
I always say
I'm thinking of Tom
Ghislaine.
Brady's wife.
Tom Brady's
Giselle. I was
Giselle.
thinking of
Yeah,
her. Yeah, her
yeah.
ex-wife.
Excellent. Yeah, crazy lady. Yeah. So, all jokes aside, how was the show? What did you observe?
So let me premise. I was setting up at card shows in like 2021, 2022 pretty routinely. And we were doing shows and stuff then, and I'd kind of give you feedback. And I stopped probably like early 2023. I stopped doing it because I was like, man, I just want to collect, like crunching all the numbers and like playing the inventory game and buying all the time. Like, I have a full time job, dude. I couldn't dedicate all
Right,
that effort.
right.
So I just pulled back and collected for like what, three years or whatever. We kept in touch. Um, but earlier that well, I think it was July, early July. I set up at a local card show. My dad was in town, and he set up he was setting up. So I was like, hey, I have a case. Let me throw some stuff I've had over the last 4 or 5 years. Let me throw some stuff out there because I've noticed the prices. I mean, I see how the market's been going, and I've been buying like random stuff, PC stuff, stuff that I just was like, I'll buy this at this price. So I did well in July because a lot of that stuff I'd bought from like the end of last November into like early February, maybe even into March. But like we've seen what the market's done since then. So I came up at the local show and I was like, man, I'm way up on a lot of this stuff. Let me take a little bit of this, buy some more inventory, and kind of go to this Sandusky show you're talking about that was this last weekend.
Right.
And dude, I had the same experience a month ago at my local show, and then I had the same thing happen to me in Sandusky, where it's like I put out one case, and everything I buy is slabbed. I want everything authentic through some type of grading company. It's just easier. I just prefer that. I set up one case for two different shows, and I think I've sold out of my cases like within 2 hours of two different shows. So by Friday morning of both weekend shows, I was like done. And it's because I think not for everybody, mind you, the first show I'm talking about, I was way up on stuff because the market took off. This last show, I was up a little bit on stuff, even though I was buying since early July to set up this weekend. But like it was who I was buying and why it was going up.
Right.
But what I'm noticing is if it's already slabbed, obviously most of the time PSA, you have breakers, repackers, dude, they'll clear your case out, because the hobby's getting so big and there's so much gambling. Like, I don't think these cards are ending with collectors. They're just going back to breakers, um, you know, what do they call that when you repackers and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So from what I'm seeing is like, yeah, people are making money if you know what you're doing, and that's awesome. But like, I don't know how sustainable this is long term, because I don't think these cards are getting their values from collectors or like end places where it's like it's going to maintain value. It's just these cards are constantly getting flipped to the point where I don't know if there's like a steady long-term value that you can put on some of these cars, especially the modern stuff, because they're flipping so fast. It's just interesting. But I've kind of picked my spots with these last few shows, and it's like I've made money. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I haven't. And it's like I might do it again. I might start buying some stuff to set up at a couple shows in October. Um, I'm very specific on who I buy, and I already said I want it graded, because I know at worst come to worst, at the end of the show, it's like if I want to sell this stuff off all at once, because I don't want to take any of it home, I can come to some percentage of numbers, knowing what I have into it and where I would be at if I sold it all. And you can literally sell all of your inventory at any show, even small local shows. I'm in a smaller area in Ohio. Our shows aren't that big, but the flippers, or I'm sorry, well, yeah, they're flippers. The flippers, the repackers, um, these guys are out everywhere. Like, there was a big show in Shipshewana everybody knows about, but even the smaller show in Sandusky, Ohio, I still sold my case out in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Same thing when I was in St. Clairsville in July, my local show in July. Um, Card Collector 2 had his big show in Columbus that weekend. And we're St. Clair, you're right off 70. 70 takes you right into Columbus in 2 hours. So I'm sure a lot of people were at that Columbus show in my area, because 70's right there. It takes you right into Columbus. It's a 2 hour trip. But still, even in my small little mall show, my local one, I sold all my stuff. The repackers, the flippers, like, those guys are out there buying at every show, because it's a network of buyers. So it's
And
like it has its positives and negatives, like anything else. But I mean, it's literally all about numbers with these card shows. It's very rare that you see somebody's like, "Hey, I'm an Emmett Smith collector. I'm a um, just pick somebody. I'm a Sammy Sosa collector. I'm a Mark McGuire collector. I'm a Julio Jones collector."
I'm
You
a
just
Bill
don't see
Gates
that.
collector.
Exactly. You and Nat Turner both. I remember I commented on
You
something.
called him out.
He had a Bill Gates PC, and I immediately commented. I was like, "Bro, your timing is awful."
Oh, yeah.
It was right when all that
Do you remember
the
when I
list
did that?
the list was coming out.
Do you remember I did that video on like net when you were talking about that? I referenced you, and people thought I was insane saying like this dude's tied to Epstein. It's like, I mean, this is basic common sense, and there's like you need evidence, bro. I'm like, there's already evidence out there
Dude,
without the full blown
you
list.
have to think, we that was probably what, like 3, 4 years ago we were talking about that
Yeah,
stuff? Roughly, at least 3.5, 4 years
yeah. It
ago.
must have been 3.5 years ago. The
How
Aldo kept. Go ahead.
Here's what I'd say though. How do you notice a change since then? Like, topics and these things aren't as taboo to talk about now. Like, we were literally the conspiracy guys of the hobby,
Oh,
and
I'm
now I
still.
don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you still are, but when it comes to a lot of the stuff we talked about, it's like time has only gone and has proven a lot of the things, unfortunately, right. Where it's like
Right.
we do live in a wild time, a wild time.
I mean, even wild time, like you're saying with sports cards, and I kind of hate
It
myself for
is.
this. Like, I I have been selling some cards and like, or actually packs, and you could say cards as well
Mhm.
online, and I've been making money on that. and there's some inventory that I still have from COVID.
Mhm.
And I kind of hate myself. I don't know if you remember, I bought this 8.5 BGS Gatorade. It was under, I think, 2 grand or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the exact price. And I sold it way early. And I saw that thing went to 18,500. It's
Shut
utterly,
up.
no, I'm serious. I saw
That's
that online.
crazy.
It may have been like, maybe that was a better version, but I'm just like, this is utterly psycho. And the card market was moving. I saw up until February, March of this year before that Ken Golden, Logan Paul sale, which I think is Fugazi up the wazoo. I don't know how much you followed that, but it was a PSA 9 card initially, sent to PSA multiple times, and then it turned to a PSA 10. And then the
Yeah.
market exploded after that, what, $16.5 million sale.
Yeah.
And and then, I was working like crazy, so I couldn't follow all of the trends. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy moly, because of what they did. And now I'm thinking, if you don't have any particular event, whether it's economically speaking, if they don't print the money like crazy, if they don't have some blockbuster sale, then this market is probably going to be stagnant. I mean, yes, this shows will be hot for now, but
Mhm.
you need some sort of momentum to continue this craziness. And I don't know what it could be. Like, you've been following, you watch my videos where I was at the National. I got multiple individuals giving me intel that a mantle card was sold. I discussed it. My channel got 3 copyright strikes. I'm still in the middle of this. I will talk about this hopefully in the next week or so.
Mhm.
But I wonder if they want to do some sort of pump and dump scenario with the mantle, and then everybody goes out once again, final draw, and then like the whales they just sell to the retail crowd. I don't know what's going on, but those are just my thoughts back of my head. I don't know. What do you
I
think?
well, I've listened to some of the stuff you're talking about regarding this possible alleged, let's just say alleged mantle sale.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. You're seeing the money shift to the goats. Like you're seeing that.
right,
Like, yeah, you have some modern prospecting stuff still going on. I don't
right.
know if you even want to call it prospecting, but like there's still some money in Wemby. There's money in like Brunson just won a title. So it's not like all the money's going strictly to the goats. It's not what I'm saying. But you are seeing like bonds markets going up. Griffey, Jordan, MJ, LeBron, or sorry, Kobe, LeBron. You're seeing the goats. Like we're seeing insane prices on their stuff. Like I showed you a Kobe rookie that I had, and it's like in a matter of 2 years, the card's going crazy. Now it's not a $50,000 card now that you're going to see on a thumbnail, but for me, when I bought it, knowing what I bought it for and what it's worth now, it's like it's pretty insane. Um, but I think this mantle could possibly be something where it's like, hey, we're seeing the money go to the goats. Mantle is obviously a hobby goat. Let's, like you said, let's have the next big thing, the next big discussion point, the next major sale, because it was last year when the logo man Kobe Jordan auto sold for what was it, like 13.5 million.
With Mr. Wonderful
Yeah.
as the buyer or something. I don't
It might 12,
remember
13
exactly what.
million, something like that. But it's like we're only seeing more money and more corporate uh tentacles in this hobby. It's like, what's the next big thing from that dual logo man? Like, what's the big sale? And like, maybe there is some type of marketing plot with this mantle. If it, here's the thing though, uh, if this happened genuinely, this sale happened, and everybody's kind of being hush hush about it, not talking about it. My question is, well, we see how things are with the hobby. If that sale happened authentically, why isn't anybody talking about? Why isn't it being published? Why isn't it being discussed? If it's happened
Sorry
and
to
people are
interrupt.
trying to, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Rovell did tweet about it saying that there's a hobby rumor. but that
Right.
was after I discussed it. Maybe someone else talked about it. There's so much content, so I haven't been able to follow
But
all of it. But
my point being is when you have that type of sale, people involved in it typically go public.
yeah, which
So
is
my
weird.
question is if the sale did happen and they're kind of keeping it under the radar, why and for what reason? Then it might seem to be more marketing, in my opinion, because it seems like when anybody hits the big chase card, it like goes viral. When the dual logo man, it happened on a live auction. I was on Jeremy Lee, shout out Jeremy Lee. I was watching his live stream while that auction was going down. Hoge was in there. That Brett dude from Value Card Investor, like there was like 3 or 4 guys on the
Yeah,
panel, and
right.
I remember watching it live. So it's like if and there was a lot of publicity right after that auction. If a landmark sale happens in the hobby, it just seems to me typically it's a very public thing. When we had the logo man, what was it? The triple logo man, Jordan, or I'm not Jordan, LeBron. What was it a few years ago? The triple logo man. Yeah, it was the triple logo man, LeBron. From I think it was an LA logo man, a Cleveland logo man. And it wasn't it 3 LeBrons on one logo man.
I believe
That
so.
one, that was like the big chase, and that was public. Everything about it was public. It got graded authentic. It got sold and all that stuff. Like, so if the Mantle thing happened, allegedly, if it allegedly did happen, it's like, why haven't we heard much about it? And if it has happened and it comes out later, it's like, well, then why keep it on the low for so long? Because there's so much, and it's this is the thing, and people will just say, oh, we're whiners or we're haters, and it's not that. It's just we see the trend of how the hobby has grown so much in the virality of things, the content influence and the money networks behind that, and the constant promotion of it. It would make me wonder if a sale like that happened, why isn't that machine, that promotion machine, pumping out content around it and going
Yeah,
public?
that's the weirdest part. I don't know, maybe some people were told keep quiet on this, and then the extra weird part is why would someone just strike my channel like that? I mean, there are legal implications, for filing fake copyright strikes.
Right, right.
And I just found that to be bizarre. It could be something else. I
It
mean, I
could
have two
be,
scenarios regarding this, and I've discussed this with you, but I will talk more about that later. It
yeah.
was just weird, and I didn't get that many views. 468 views. That was
You
the
have to
other thing.
you have to think of all the stuff you've talked about, you've invited other people on to talk about. Like we've talked about some crazy stuff. And for
Yeah,
you to get like flagged for
for this.
for potentially it
Yeah,
being the
yeah,
Mickey Mantle
yeah,
discussion sale, that's like wow. So if that, let's just play hypothetical, like if
yeah,
that were
right.
the case and that was the reason that you got a copyright and people are like wanting to keep it under wraps, that just gives me skepticism. If you're premising that it's a rumor, and you're discussing it, I don't think there's any legal or I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. And that certainly,
No.
in my opinion, wouldn't be a copyright thing.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
like
that
if
video
if
that
we're
got hit.
following the line of like, hey, we're thinking outside the box, and like it just so happened when you discussed that rumor that Rovell even tweeted about, was that Rovell tweet after you got this
Yeah, it
copyright
was
thing?
like 5 days after,
See,
but
maybe
I'm pretty sure
maybe that
Rovell,
has something to do with it, where you broke the news maybe before you
maybe
should
he was
have.
supposed to. I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I mean, I've broke stuff before Rovell has in the
Mhm.
past. Like, remember the PWCC sale
Yeah.
to Fanatics? I talked about it before Rovell. Like, there were a lot of people that knew about it, but they didn't
Mhm.
say anything.
Mhm.
Rovell had major details. I just got a double source confirmation. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk about it. And yeah, some people were mad and jealous. It was like it was weird. It's bizarre.
You know how the
This is how
content
these
game is. The
yeah,
content game can be competitive. I'm not involved. I know
yeah,
some really nice people I've been able to kind
right.
of make acquaintances with, but it's like I'm sure there's a competitive nature to it
Oh
too.
yeah, for
But
sure.
anyway, real quick to play devil's advocate for
Yeah,
anybody freaks out on me. I also want to say, like, I know we played out that hypothetical on the Mantle sale and we talked about it.
Right.
But there's also a world where it's like it could possibly be that that sale did happen, and maybe it was a private thing that both parties were like, we want this private. It could be as simple as that. I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, let's go down the rabbit hole and like there's got to be something nefarious going on here. It could be as simple as two people had this sale and chose to keep it private. And if that's
Yeah.
the case, so be it. Um, but I'm just going by like behavior patterns and trends in the hobby. When we see landmark sales in the last, what, 5 years, it becomes like mainstream hobby talk about content.
Yeah. And then like even
It,
a couple years ago, remember when this, I'm not going to mention the individual's name, but I know the guy who sold the Jordan, what was it? The 84 card? Was it like in
the
a,
star.
yeah, the star.
You talking about the
And
one
that
Jeff
was a,
bought?
yeah, Jeff bought, I think, a PSA version, but that was a different one. But he was
Okay.
pumping one card. Remember that pump scenario? I'm not going to get into that here. But this other sale that I'm talking about, he's a hobby insider or a relative of a hobby insider, sold this card. It was a private sale, but then that information went to Revelve, and Revelve reported about it. It's like it's a private sale, so why do you want to report about it? Because it's a
Mhm.
flex. And Revelve was getting mad at, even, Cage Lawyer getting mad at me saying like, hey, this looks weird. Like it could be real, but I don't know. Something seemed off. And Ravel was commenting on my IG saying like this is embarrassing or something like that. Just me commenting
Mhm.
on this private sale that Ravel reported on. But anyways, some of these private sales are fake, no doubt about it. Some of them are real. There's just no
Not to
audit.
cut you off, not
Yeah,
to cut you off, but somebody you've been cool with. I'm not
yeah,
speaking down on anybody. I just remember at the end of last year or earlier this year, I think it was the end of last year,
yeah.
wasn't P. Ryan talking about this exact thing where it's like
Oh yeah,
these fake stuff?
exactly.
But then he kind of ruined
Right,
himself when he
right,
made these accusations at Jeff and Teapot, and it was like,
right. That
do you know
was
what I mean? It's like
yeah.
I think that stuff does happen. And when someone like P. Ryan, who's in those circles, I would be like, okay, he's around these type of people that have this money to have this type of transaction or
Right,
potential pump and dump or fraud, whatever.
right.
But then when he goes and accuses these guys, and it's like I've never been an advocate of Jeff Wilson, but I was like, you just made this claim with totally unfounded, and you're saying this stuff, and then you backtrack. It's like now you've kind of muddied the waters where it's like now the story goes away because a potential liar made a false accusation. But in reality, it's like I do think there is probably some hanky panky money going on in high end deals.
Oh yeah, I mean, like he had this story or something like that that I screenshotted, and it was like he paid S. We all know who S is to basically go to PSA to get higher grades or something like that. It sounded insane. I just reposted it because that's what he's saying, and then like Jeff Wilson
Yeah.
saying this is not true at all, and Teapots handled himself well. I know you're cool with Teapots.
Yeah. Shout
Um,
out Teapot. He's always
yeah,
been cool to
he
me.
seems like a good guy.
He
And Teapot, handled himself well on the SCR live, and I talked to him. I just wanted his side of the story. And
mm,
he wasn't pumping and dumping, these low end
yeah.
cards. Like that was utterly cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And we're the ones that talk about like all sorts of crazy things.
Hmm.
And you could tell who it tends to be legit, who's not after all these stories happen.
Two thoughts on that. One, I thought Teapot handled that awesome when he went into um, SCR and went right into the fire, answered every
Right,
question,
right.
and it's like guilty people don't typically do that.
No,
Um,
no.
so I have a lot of respect for him. One on that, and he and I are pretty cordial and stuff. So it's like
Right.
first off, shout out to him for that, and then secondly, it's like shame on P Ryan because like that's what I mean. He kind of muddied the waters of the claim because it's like if you do know about these high-end hanky-panky situations, why would you throw someone like that under the bus? It almost like now nobody talks about the high-end hanky-panky now because we're distracted because he made a false claim against somebody who was totally innocent.
Yeah, and now everything is
So it's
going
like
up.
yeah,
So
it
people
just
forget. They're like, okay, like even like people like me are talking about the rise in cards, and I do hanky panky content, and there will be a time for it. But right now, it's hey, I have some cards or some packs. They've gone up like crazy. Some of my Brady stuff. So
mm,
it's time to take profits because if you go from, I think you remember, I used to buy the 238 PSA 8
mhm.
base cards of Tom Brady. I bought them at $300. I sold them about what $1,500, something like that, somewhere 1,300. I did well for myself at the time. I did not expect somewhere from last year 700, $800, even like $600. It went to $5,500 before the national. That's utterly insane. And now you've seen a pullback close to what 18 to 20% pullback where it's about $4,300. That's still a great appreciation. And I still
Mhm.
attribute some of this pumping due to Ken Golden and the bogus Logan Paul. Not bogus. It is technically a real sale, but it's in air quotes, just
Yeah.
like your boy Bonds and Mr.
There's
Stickum, Jerry
there's
Rice.
oh my gosh. Just bashing my PC.
I mean,
Hey,
I'm a Sosa fan, so
I was
you
gonna
can bash me.
say, bro.
You can bash me on that.
I I I don't know. I kind of miss the steroid '90s guys, dude. I kind of love those guys. I'd put them all in the Hall of Fame. I know you're more of a traditionalist when it comes
Yeah,
to
I'm like,
that.
maybe out of all those people, I put Bonds in the Hall of Fame.
See, even you'd admit it.
Yeah, I mean, like he was that damn good.
Can
I
we
mean,
just
McGuire.
agree? We probably would agree in the Pittsburgh era, he probably wasn't on anything because that would have been late
No,
'80s, early '90s,
no.
and he was still winning MVPs. Now, San Francisco, yeah, I think
Yeah,
after like what would have been '99, 2000, after the McGuire Sosa
right,
Griffey year, I
right.
didn't even think Juan or not Juan Gonzalez, Julio Gonzalez, who was it? Luis Gonzalez. He was involved in one of those years where he was hitting like
Oh
50,
yeah.
60 home runs. Um, but once Barry joined the club, it was over. It's like that's where I'm always convinced, like, yeah, he probably did take stuff, but it's like even amongst his peers, which I think a lot of guys in that
Oh
era
yeah. A
would
lot,
probably
lot of
take it.
people cheated. Yeah,
He was
it's
still that much better than
yeah. He was
everybody.
that better. I mean, like on roids. Yeah, he's
What
definitely.
is this Jerry Rice Stickum thing? Is he like was he
I think.
caught saying he used Stickum
I
or
mean, he
something?
admitted to it. So he said that a lot of people used it back in the day, and
Oh yeah,
he used
dude.
it as well. And it's just better grip when you catch the
Yeah,
ball.
dude. 60s, 70s, 80s. I think it was Bolitnikov. Do you know the receiver college football best receiver award? The Fred
No,
Bolitnikov award. Well, that's what it's called. And I'm pretty sure he was notorious for like lathering his arms and stickum.
I
But
wouldn't be
that's
surprised.
for some reason. I guess it was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do it, but I don't think they cared back then. And Rice came in the league in like the what '86, so I'm sure that stuff was still going on. Hey,
Sorry to
dude,
interrupt. You still have a little bit of time. This Zoom session is going to end in a little bit.
man, we went 40 minutes.
No, yeah, part of it we had technical issues, but yeah, we can do more if you'd like.
It's
Maybe
up
like
to you. I'm
yeah,
down.
10, 50 more. Yeah, 10, 50 more minutes. We could do this. It's just going to end in a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
Um, but yeah, as far as you're talking about like cards appreciating and stuff going up, it's like, yeah, I might have skeptical thoughts on the high end market and what's driving this, but in reality, my cards have gone up. And that's what kind of like stroked the flame of me setting up at a show last month. I was like, dude, I'm sitting on my PC. I ended up getting that card. Told you and Dan. I ended up getting that card ladder. So I entered all my cards. It like I know for roughly, and I can look up some of the prices I bought them at because of eBay history or auction history, whatever, or like private sales. I remember what I bought some card for. So I entered into Card Ladder what I was paying for these cards. I set it in my collection in Card Ladder, which shout out Card Ladder. I do like that tool a lot. I'm a I'm sold. It took me forever to get it. But I'm watching in my card ladder app, the values of my card continue to go up from like, I don't know, January